Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to Genshin Impact. I started this game 4.5 years ago, so I figured I'd finally do a review of this game of sorts. Before we start, I just want to make sure to make this clear. This is a biased review. It is highly opinionated. It's 100% opinionated, but my opinion. This is not some in-depth research, review, essay, or anything. This is literally me just saying what I want and speaking my thoughts out loud. That's it. This is just a casual player's not so casual review of the game. Like I said, I started this game at launch. I have taken some breaks in between, but I played most of this game except for the new area, Natlan. Let me just start off by showing what I have, I suppose. I do have most of the characters. Let me show an archive instead. So, I don't have most of the new ones, obviously. Amber joined on September 28, 2020, which was when the game launched. And apparently I didn't play much during that, I guess. Because I got Kaya the next day, same with Lisa, and then Barbara a few days later. Most people probably got them all on the same day, since it doesn't take too long to get that far. And as you can see, I do have my fair share of 5-star limited characters, and basically all 4-star characters. I did spend a few money on this game, especially during the first year. I bought, I believe, each of the package once, and after that I haven't really bought anything else. Because, I just wanted to support the game because I found it fun and enjoyable. There is a lot that I can talk about. There's a lot. Let's look at my achievements. I have 1,200 achievements. As you can see, that's most of them. I basically had all of them done except, like I said, the new area, Natlan. This is all Natlan stuff, getting Pyro stuff. I have not done any of it. But other than that, I got 100% in basically everything. Challenger series, Mondstadt, co-op, teapot stuff. Fishing I did not finish yet. I got almost 1,400 out of 2,000, which is basically the only one I'm missing. Fishing kind of sucks in this game, okay? The Chasm, Economia, the TCZ, I have all done. The Theater, I did not do. And Cheneyville, I'm only halfway done. So, obviously I'm AR60 as well, World Level 9. I suppose I should just start from my initial thoughts. I just want to go over everything I've been through in my playthrough of this game. When I first started the game, I had no idea what this game was about. I heard some rumors like, hey, it's Breath of the Wild copycat or something like that. And well, Breath of the Wild was fun. I played the game. I didn't 100% it because there were way too much score oxys, but it was fun just exploring around, doing shrines, puzzles, getting new weapons, gears. Overall, I had fun in Breath of the Wild, so I decided to give this game a try. And honestly, my first reaction was, hey, look, there's a rock out in the middle of the sea. Let's see if I can swim to it. I drowned. And then I tried again without speed swimming, and I made it. And lo and behold, there was a giant treasure chest sitting there. So first impression was, holy shit, this game is kind of awesome. I got a giant treasure chest just for exploring. It rewarded exploration. And then, fast forward a couple minutes, the camera pans out as you climb the hill. It shows the grassy fields, the statue in the middle of the pond, and Mondstadt in the back in the middle of a giant lake filled with windmills, and then the music kicks in. The music, I'd say, is probably one of the biggest strengths of this game. I mean, the graphics is awesome, the gameplay is decent, the story is fine, honestly, but the music is definitely what keeps you playing, for me at least. There is so much you can do in this game. For me, I mean, honestly, I just enjoyed playing it. I didn't even know this was a gacha game at the first. Every new character I got was a fun icing in the cake. I wasn't running around trying to farm primo gems or get characters or level them up. I was just playing the game and enjoying it. Events, I didn't even pay much attention to them, and I'm sure I lost out on a lot of rewards from it, but those were all extras to me. I played the game because it was fun. That's it. I explored around, I saw a chest, went to it, saw another chest, went to it, saw some mobs, went to fight them. I had a good time playing the game. That was Mondstadt. A lot of people tend to say like, hey, the story in Mondstadt kind of sucks, but for me, it was pretty good. Like, hey, you get your animal element, you walk a bit, and then all of a sudden there's a giant dragon that just flies over you and lands in the forest. That's a pretty epic start to a game. And then we play a bit more. We had the weird battle with Dvalin in the sky where we just blasted with bullets. But then when we meet Venti, he sings a song. Like, he actually sings it. Most games, they're just like, oh, fade to black, cutscene gone, or we get some text. But they voice acted that whole thing. And the story of Dvalin, it was, I guess, what got me into the story in the first place. I mean, it wasn't anything insanely out of the world for most of Mondstadt, but when they put their effort in, the story just, you can feel the work they put in. It was fun to listen to and just sit back and listen. And yes, I am fighting the Thundering Manifestation with Kuching. So what? But going through Mondstadt, I didn't really have an issue with like AR levels or anything like that, since I kind of just ignored the main quest for the most part. Just ran around gathering materials and supplies, because like every chest I got was some sort of progress. I got Mora, I got XP books, I got enchantment materials, and it helped me upgrade my characters. I didn't know any of the meta teams. I didn't know what was good, what was bad. I put Bennett and Shincho in the mines forever, and honestly, they couldn't be used if they were on Expedition, because they were just, I didn't like their design. That's it. And I just used what characters I found fun. I always had Chi-Chi in my team because I got her. She was the first 5-star I got, by the way, and she was amazing. She kept my team alive during the first, basically until I was around AR 45. Chi-Chi was always on my team. I wasn't using Barbara because she just caused me to always get self-frozen. And I didn't like running around the map with like half HP or having to keep going back to the statue. So she was my main healer for most of the game. And then, we fought Dvalin. The fight was pretty fun. It wasn't anything amazing or out of the world. I did like the little segments at the end, when Senora comes, apparently beats Fenty up. I was surprised he didn't die. I kind of expected him to die, but I guess plot reasons, they couldn't just kill off one of the playable characters. And I think the best part after that was probably just getting the whole lore dump. Some info dump at the end is always nice. And then we got to Liyue. I did not know Liyue existed. At all. Like, not one bit. and then the music suddenly shifted. You know, I'm walking down the bridge and then just seeing the inn, like just giant tree house on top of, well, a tree. Like the whole scenery looked different, all the game looked different, and the music hit. You know, after having spent hours in Mondstadt, that shift in music, it was like I was playing a whole new game. That thrill of adventure came back. And I played the game some more, because it was fun. Like, for me, Mondstadt and Liyue were probably some of my favorite reasons in the game. Because back then, the game was fun to play. There was nothing you could do that did not help you progress. It didn't feel like the game was limiting you or trying to stop you from playing. It was, hey, you see something? Go check it out, because you're gonna get something out of it. Climb a giant tree? There's probably a chest up there. Or hey, climb to the statue, no, it wasn't Venti's, it was the previous Archon. Climb the statue in Mondstadt. You can just sit on the hand and you get an achievement for it. You can just enjoy the view from there. And I think that's what really made me enjoy the game the most. The small details they added to the game. It wasn't anything insane, anything extravagant, but it felt like the developers were just trying to make a game fun and enjoyable. They still don't let you pet the cats or the dogs, which kind of sucks though. But, you know, they added something to like every single corner of the map. Small details here and there, just to make the game look cool or fun. Liyue was when the story really picked up though. I mean, it was fun just running around a little bit, especially with that whole Coca Goat situation and Chi-Chi being Chi-Chi. But then we got to the final battle in Liyue, and it was epic. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played. Fighting Child, and then going straight to Osayo after that. Like the giant dragon that spawns out of the ocean. Not a dragon, a serpent. And then we have the epic fight scene where we're getting buffed from all the Adepti. And we beat the Fatui. And there's this giant laser Gatling guns blasting away. And Ningguang drops the Jade Chamber, causing a massive explosion to drive off Osayo. It was epic, honestly. The music was going ham, the animations were amazing. Ningguang felt like a 6-star character, let alone a 4-star. And honestly, the story is what made the characters goodbye official. The story is what made the characters appealing as well. Like, you meet the characters in the story, you get to learn about them, their story, what basically makes them them. And there's also kind of why Keqing was my favorite character. Fun fact, I got Keqing's outfit during the first Lantern Ride when it was on discount at official stat again. We can take care of that later. But when I started the game, you know, I saw what the characters look like. I was like, hey, okay, I like Keqing's design, I like Chi-Chi's design. If I get either of them, I'm not gonna reroll. And I kid you not, during Noel's discount banner, the first 10 pull I did on it, I got a 5-star, which apparently was extremely lucky. I thought that was a guaranteed at that point. And I got Chi-Chi from it. So I was like, cool, I'm good. I can eventually get Keqing, you know, and I got one of the characters I want. So, didn't reroll, ever. And then we had the Keqing banner, the 1 week of Keqing banner. I was so tempted to pull during then. And I know I'm getting completely sidetracked with this, but that's what this video is about, alright? It's a review of my experience. So, I was tempted to pull on it, and unfortunately, I watched some YouTube videos, and literally everyone was saying, "Don't pull, it's a trap. Don't pull, because she's a standard character. If you don't have it, you're gonna get her eventually, and you're probably gonna get way too many of her. Alright, save your Primo Gems for the other characters coming out. I think it around then was when Ganyu and Hu Tao were also about to release, or had just released. So, against my better judgment, I did not pull on her banner. And then, Lantern Rite. I'm getting so off track, but the first Lantern Rite was by far my favorite. Keqing was the main cast in that, obviously, but there was all of Liwei changed. Okay, Liwei was amazing as it was already, but the event started, and then the whole town was glowing. There were lanterns, decorations everywhere. It was insane. I had never seen a game do something like that before. Just the amount of effort they put in, and the music, Lantern Rite music. Can never forget the Lantern Rite music. They do like some sort of variation of it each Lantern Rite, but it always sounds amazing. And also during the first Lantern Rite, we had the theater mechanic, the tower defense game. It was so fun to play. They did some variations now and then, but the initial variation was definitely my favorite. It was just straight up tower defense. Nothing complicated, nothing extravagant. Just, hey, play the game. But, there was a lot of fetch quests in that event. Running around, helping people build Zhao lanterns. It was okay, like not insane, but... And then we got to the final cutscene, and then we see all the weird horse thing come alive, go into the air and explode. And then Keqing's in her new outfit being like, hey, enjoy the firework festival. And then we have all the lanterns floating into the sky out of Liwei. It was... gave me goosebumps, honestly. Because it was like, hey, were a part of this. I was a part of that. Like, I helped build these lanterns. It felt like I was part of the world. Like I was making a difference. And it was emotional and touching. And there was, Zhao as well, just doing Zhao stuff. And, we got a token from it as well. We got to keep some the Zhao lanterns we had built. I still have a few of them, can release them now and then. Unfortunately, we can't get any more, but they still look as amazing as always. It's reminiscent. There's probably a better word for it, but it's very nostalgic to think back on it. That was also when I got Keqing's outfit, bought it, did not have Keqing yet. I did not get her until the fourth Lantern Rite, I believe. It was when they gave us the 5-star character selector, which was like a couple months ago from now. Yeah, never pulled her, ever. I lost plenty of 50-50s. Alright, I lost a lot of 50-50s. Never got a Keqing. Literally had to wait for them to actually give us a 5-star standard character selector. And I was trying very hard, alright? I mean, I did get a lot of characters. I have Constellation 5 for Diluc, for Mona, and for Chi-Chi already. I have every single other standard 5-star character except Keqing. Like, it was insane. They announced the Chronicle banner and I was like, finally, I can get Keqing. And it was all monster characters. I was like, okay, that's fine. Once the monster banner ends, they're probably gonna do like a Liwei one and I can get Keqing. I saved my Primo Gems. That was like at the middle of Sumeru, and I saved it all the way until Farina. Almost a year. They never released a Liwei banner. Never did. Until this Lantern Rite, the 5th one. Or but I don't know which one it is. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I mean, by then, I'd already had her weapon. I also pulled the mist splitter for her. I already had that all leveled up. I had all of her essential materials, talent materials already gathered from way before, just had to saved up and stocked up. I did not triple crown a single character until I got Kaching. And C is currently my only triple crown character. Right. Because this character was basically my goal for the game. Once I got her from the selector, 3 minutes later, she was level 90, had her weapon, had all of her artifacts, and triple crowned. And I played for a bit, and then dropped the game. Because I got my goal. I came back recently. Before I go into... I came back just before the new Lantern Rite ended. There was 4 hours left. I was like, you know, I can do this. Zhongli's new outfit looked amazing. So, and I really wanted that. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. 4 hours, plenty of time for me to finish the whole entire Lantern Rite event. So I got to the event, and during the first scene, we met Hu Tao, and she wasn't voiced. I was kind of shocked. I was like, is my game bugged? What's going on? And then we got to meeting Kaching and Lanyan? Yanlan? No, not Yanlan. I think it's Lanyan, the new character, the 4-star. Kaching wasn't voiced either. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? Apparently there was some sort of strike going on with the voice actors. Like, this game is massive, okay? They have the funds. Lantern Rite just felt like unfinished content. Apparently the other reason voices are voices, like just the English one that's not voice acted. And I just closed the game at that point. I didn't do the Lantern Rite. This year's Lantern Rite was the first Lantern Rite that I missed. I didn't do it. It kind of sucks I missed out on the outfit, but it's fine. Cause, well, you'll get to it. We'll get to it later in the review. I mean, I guess I'll go back to Leeway. Leeway was where I fell in love with the story. Just the whole cutscenes. A lot of people ask for like skip button for story and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want a skip button. The story is perfectly fine. Just add more voice acting. Add more voice acting like to the Styles story as well. Like, Genshin has the budget for it. There's no way they don't. And with voice acting, you know, they can cut down on like the the unnecessary dialogues, you know, because the story in this game is kind of amazing. I'm not a huge lore freak, but I do know a little bit. Alright, I've done like 90% of this game, even, or well, almost 100% of this game if you don't count Natlan. There's a lot of amazing side quests, world quests in this game. And there's a lot of event quests as well. And that's probably one of the biggest negatives in this game as well. The events. You know, after Kuching, my second favorite character is probably Albedo. And Albedo, he exists. But his story does not. Dragon Spawn was a reason that is solely focused and based around Albedo. And I wasn't planning on getting him at all. Like, cool, he's a guy, and I don't really have the primos for it. So I was planning on skipping his banner when he came out. I mean, I got Venti, I got Klee, I can't really keep getting every single character. But we got the Dragon Spawn event, and we met Albedo, and he was an amazing character. His story was also amazing, and I was like, okay then, I guess I'm getting him. I think that was the first time I actually bought Primo Gems to pull for Albedo because I just didn't have any. I mean, it was definitely worth it. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every bit of my time playing this game. It's fun, like just sitting here, listening to the music, looking at the view. I mean, this game looks amazing. Sounds amazing. It's calm, relaxing. You can just chill, have it in the background even while you're doing other stuff, listening to the music. Or, hop on, explore around for a bit, find stuff. I mean, nowadays, it's very different though. But yeah, I mean, the events, they've done it for a lot of characters as well. I know Albedo Official had a whole Paradise event as well that's no longer accessible. Most of Clee's event is during the summer as well, and those never come back either. I mean, it would be amazing if they could just hey, have it as, hey, here's a downloadable content you can download, complete the event, and get the items and experience it. They have nothing to lose by doing that. It doesn't increase the game file size or anything, or intensity in the game. I mean, for the most part, this game is a single player game. I wish they would just add those content in instead of removing it. Like, what was it? I think the second Lantern Rite, we rebuilt the chamber, met Shenhe and Yunjin. Yunjin's opera singing was amazing. I had never heard Chinese opera before, but having her tell the story of Shenhe, as with the whole cutscene going on in the background, Chinese opera was amazing. The Chinese singing opera was amazing. But I don't think I actually like Chinese opera. I just like the game and what the emotions behind it were. And Shenhe was also amazing when she just froze the whole entire wave. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this for anyone who hasn't watched or played the game, because there is. Yeah, I mean, the second Lantern Rite was epic, awesome. Not as amazing as the first one. The third Lantern Rite, I don't know why I'm getting back to the Lantern Rite and completely passing over what I was talking about before, and I already forgot. But we keep moving on. The show must go on. The third Lantern Rite, I believe that was the one with Hu Tao and Xingyan singing rock band. I play this game with English voice acting, obviously, because I just like to listen to it instead of having to read. And I enjoy it. Video games, I just normally tend to have them just talk, because for me personally, that's what's more comfortable. If other people enjoy other voice acting, that's perfectly fine as well. Yeah, but the whole music concert with Hu Tao and Xingyan, for me, I enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of complaint online, a lot of negative, negative comments on it, oh, you guys can't sing. I'm sorry, but they're voice actors, okay? They're not singers, alright? And hearing voice actors that I know, these characters I know, they're getting into the role, they're singing. For me, it was the emotion behind it, okay? I enjoyed the singing because I enjoyed the characters. That's it. Nothing more, nothing overcomplicated. I'm not a music connoisseur. I'm not gonna be oh, your pitch was off here, or oh, that could have sounded better there, your vocals were not on point, your rapping sucked. No, they did their best, and it was a fun event. It's like having a karaoke night with family. Alright, I'm a horrible singer, but I love singing, and I enjoy hearing others sing, even if they're bad, just because I like the person. So, I mean, the third Lantern Rite, definitely did enjoy. Probably my second favorite after the first Lantern Rite. Because it wasn't just the singing, it was after the singing, We went to the diner. I forgot the name of the diner, but you know, we had the cast come together. Hu Tao, Zhang Ling, Xing Chou, Chong Yun, Zhong Li, Venti, Zhao. You know, was hey, let's all sit down and chat. And that's some of my most memorable moments in this game, you know? Characters just having fun, getting along. No insane conflict, no dramatic theme, nothing over the top. Just a casual game that you just sit down and enjoy. And then we got the fourth lantern right. Definitely my least favorite. Because similar to Albedo, the fourth lantern right wasn't really about lantern right. It was gaming story. It felt off. I mean, the cutscene, the dragon dance on the water was cool and all, but that wasn't lantern right to me. It was gaming story quest, which is no longer accessible either. It didn't have the unity, like the coming together, the festive atmosphere that Lantern Rite normally had. And that kind of sucked. But I did the events because I needed the rewards. And then the fifth Lantern Rite, well, I don't even know what was on it because I didn't do it. There was no voice acting. The game was... It wasn't fun to play, so I didn't play it. That's it. And, you know, I feel like the game's been doing that a lot. Honestly, like when you just ran around the game, like the church in the background, you know? I climbed up to the top of that, and there was a giant treasure chest there. And right below the statue, you know, there's the little handrails. You go on one end, all of a sudden there's a ring that pops up, and you run all the way across the handrail, and you get a chest at the end. It was just completely random, completely unnecessary, but it was in the game, just so players can have fun. And the chests were rewarding. At the start, you know, every single XP book we got, every single enchantment material we got, they made an impact to our gameplay, to our characters, because they weren't leveled. And I feel like the game has kind of become stagnant. You know, Mondstadt was fun, Liyue was fun. I was just exploring around, you know, finding secrets, being rewarded for exploring, and then I was always making progress. The story was fun. The game was fun. I got my butt handed to me a couple of times as well, especially like in the combat trial thing behind Dawn Winery. There's one which was just a combat pedestal thing, and it spawned what was it? Abyss mazes. There was like 2 abyss mazes that spawned, and then 1 abyss maze after, and you have 60 seconds to beat them all. I got murdered in that because I had no idea what I was doing. I was nowhere near powerful enough. I did not have the whole element synergy down. I was just using characters I, you know, liked and had fun with. Yeah, so I mean, I gave up on that and came back to it much later. But it was still fun even though I couldn't beat some of the content. It was just mainly because I didn't really know how to play, but the whole game was fun. You know, I ran around, looked behind every single waterfall, went to every single corner of the map, just exploring and having fun. Liyue was the same. Like, climbing the mountains kind of really sucked, but it was a fun experience, and we got rewarded from it. The rewards from the chest gave us progress. Inazuma is, I think, where the game started to turn. You know, overworld, the enemies were much higher level. They hit harder. They had a lot more HP. You had to actually know how to play the game and properly build characters. I think Inazuma was probably where I actually took Bennett and Xingqiu out of the mines and got them past level 20. I didn't really use them for overworld because still didn't like their playstyle, but I did use them for trying to clear some of the abyss. And I had to start actually looking up guides for like building characters or what characters work together. The game became less about just playing and enjoying the game and more about perfection. And I played the game still though. I think that was when I also first took my hiatus for a bit. But I did come back to the game. Inazuma was not fun to explore. They had the whole tree mechanism with the electrogram, which just stopped you from going to places. Like, hey, you want to explore here? Too bad, you can't. Go to this place instead to level up your electrogram, and then you can come back here. The game was not open world anymore. It was not free to explore. It was not fun to explore. The game forced you to explore in the way it wanted you to explore. And that was restrictive. That was kind of rude. Like, hey, you want to explore? You can't. Too bad. You follow our narrative. That is what the game should be doing during the story. Okay? I mean, I get that they can't like have branching storylines. That'd be insane. I mean, that'd be amazing and epic, but that I understand. Like, hey, the story is fixed. But the explorations would not be. The puzzles were also very annoying and overly complicated. Like having to constantly hit those weird blocks to turn them to a set specific pattern, and then having one block also rotate some other block. It was annoying, honestly. It started getting tedious. And then having to keep coming back to areas you already visited just to level up your tree and electrogram. And then the Ghost Island. There was a lot of quests that, hey, you can't do it anymore. Come back another day. Actual real life day. Or come back another week. Another few days. It felt like the game was forcing you to stop playing. And the worst part is, the rewards didn't increase. Yeah, they increased with our adventure rank, but the increased amount was not comparable to our needs. Like, what you get from a single chest did not make any impact at all. Barely any impact to your progression. Like in Mondstadt Leeway, I was running around with like level 20, level 40 characters for the most part. So I mean, every single chest was a decent upgrade. A few XP, almost a level. I could upgrade some weapons. I could level up some characters. And in Inazuma, everything got more challenging. I had to actually start using proper teams, looking up meta guides, building characters properly, and I needed a lot of resources for that. And the game just didn't give it. The chests never scaled, and they still haven't not scaled. Like the rewards we get from like chests in Fontaine, it's still the same exact rewards we got it from Mondstadt. Just slightly different items because of our adventure rank. And that kind of sucks. Adventuring feels less rewarding. But within Inazuma, the story also kind of sucked. It was just, Raiden doesn't want to talk to anyone, so yeah, that's it. So find a way to talk to her. I mean, I kind of dropped the game then. There wasn't really anything going on. I was kind of just skipping through the story as well, spam clicking, because it was boring. And I think I really only got back to the game once, Kokomi's Watatsumi Island opened up. Compared to like the whole destroyed, broken, dark, dreary vibe of Inajima, What Hatsumi Island was a breath of fresh air, you know? Everything looked nicer. It was fun to just run around. The music was also upbeat as well. I don't know, maybe they were going for, hey, this game sucks kind of vibe with Inajima, and in which case they nailed it. It did suck. Watasumi was much more fun. I ran around, explored, had fun playing the game, and Kokomi was a fun character as well. I still remember the whole giant, what is it, event drama happening with Kokomi. Like, hey, this character sucks. She has negative crit rate, and I'm just like, cool, she's a healer, she heals. I don't care for her damage. And I believe Kokomi was... When I got Kokomi, I did pull on a banner. I replaced Chi-Chi, because I was still using Chi-Chi as my main healer for Overworld until then. And she was amazing. Alright, she did Chi-Chi's job, and she did it better. I do miss like having the free ice spreads with Chi-Chi, but I mean Kokomi could walk on water, okay? She was mini Jesus. Before Farina came out, at least. But yeah, I started having fun with the game again. You know, Watasumi Island wasn't as restrictive. The story still kind of sucked. The story in Watasumi Island was kind of fun though, with Teppei and the whole aging thing. Kind of sucks for Teppei though. Was like the only character that actually died in the whole game. Yeah, I mean Inazuma just kind of trucks through. I 100% it just for the sake of 100%ing it. I kind of also cheated a little bit because you can get those floating Mora boxes around like the water's edge, and they give you progression even if you don't actually get it. So I'm pretty sure I have a lot of chests, or at least a decent amount just hidden somewhere. And getting all the side quests kind of also sucked, because they had a lot that just required you to wait whole entire days or several days to keep it continuing, especially with the Ghost Island. And after Watasumi Island, I believe I did Dragon Spine just to finish it up. Dragon Spine, yeah, running around was pretty annoying. I was kind of freezing up. But it was a fun area to explore. So, I mean, I like winter areas as well. I do think it would have been better if they just gave some sort of gadget or item to just stop the sheer cold effect. I know they had the food, but making goulash was annoying, and I was happy to eat it. But I mean, it was definitely better than Inazuma. And then we got to Enkanomiya. Enkanomiya was amazing. You just jump down from Watasumi Island to the giant whirlpool, and then you just end up in this dark, forgotten land. Enkanomiya is definitely one of my favorite areas in the game, because the story was yours to discover, alright? Enkanomiya was 100% side content. I think so. I don't think it was part of the main story at all, as far as I recall. All of it was side content. It's hey, you want to learn about this land? They literally called it hey, this is a world that's already dead. It's gone, forgotten. If you want to learn about it, go learn about it. It's your optional, it's your choice. And Enkanomiya was based on Greek mythology, I believe, most of it, but was fun to explore around. Everything was so eerie, but it wasn't dark and dreary like Inazuma. And then you activate the giant light tower, and bam, it's the whole thing flips, and it just gives you goosebumps. It's this land that's forgotten by time, by everyone, and then this giant bright light just illuminates the whole world. It was like watching the final show of something. I don't even know how to word it. It's like a, maybe like a firework going off or something. One last huzzah before the end. A dying wish of a land forgotten. And I'm just babbling right now because I'm just trying to say I loved Inazuma. Everything about it. Even the weird puzzles, having to switch between night and day. Inazuma was amazing. And then they did an event in, I mean, not Inazuma, in Economia. And then they did an event in Economia, just completely changed it. I mean, the world was still the same, but you basically had to re-explore it all over again. And the event with it as well was amazing. You know, just every time seeing that tower go off, giving like a giant bright light, blasting it through into the sky, it just gives me goosebumps every time I even think about it. And I think maybe the devs understood that a little bit, or maybe at least got the fact that people kind of loved Enkanomiya, at least I did, because after that they released the Chasm. Chasm overworld was okay. They had a lot of, basically every single puzzle was the weird side puzzle mechanic. As long as you had a Geo character, you're good to go. But Chasm Underground, it was kind of mixed between Inazuma and Enkanomiya. Alright, it was a bit annoying to navigate and explore, but it didn't feel as frustrating as Inazuma, because we got a guiding light. Like literally, we got a giant rock of light that helped us explore. And you know, we got deeper and deeper into it, trying to figure it out. And you know, it was cool. Like there was a giant floating city upside down. And what made the Chasm really shine was definitely the event that came after. I hope that was a permanent event. I don't know if it was or not, but with Bosheses, I'm really hoping they made that a permanent event, because that needs to be a permanent event. It was one of the most epic cutscenes Genshin ever made. You know, the whole story of Bosheses, the Adeptus that basically made the ultimate sacrifice, kept it, like, was willing to be sacrificed. He was trapped down there and died down there. And then the whole rising up, trying to escape the chasm with Yolan, Yanfei, Zhao, and who else was there? Oh yeah, Ito and Kuki as well. That was an amazing introduction to Yolan, the fantastic compass. I highly enjoyed that whole event. We were basically actually trapped down there during the whole cutscene. We could not leave. Like, for the whole story, it gave that feeling like we were actually trapped, which we were. You know, like you just had to sit down and play for like 2 hours straight to actually get it done. Honestly, I'm sure a lot of people found that frustrating, but I loved it. Alright, that's my personal take on it. Chasm was fun, Economia was fun, Mondstadt Leeway was fun, Inazuma sucked. Sumeru. Spider-Maning around was fun. Glad they added that. I wish it wasn't a thing that existed in the world though, but instead existed with our character. Like a gadget or something. Because navigating around Sumeru was similar to like the peaks of Leeway. There was a lot of climbing, and if one of those Spider-Man things didn't exist, it was just annoying. And everything was so freaking high leveled. Like it was annoying to fight every single mob, especially with those mushrooms. You hit them with electro or pyro, they become inactive, and they drop a different material. And that material can't be used for any character ascendance. Alright? You had to kill them without the outdoor pyro to get the active ones, I believe. Or maybe it's the other way around. But either way, the material you needed was don't hit them with this certain element. And for me, that was stupid. Alright, because basically every character who needed those mushroom stuff needed the ones where you don't use pyro and cryo. This is like cryo. I'm sorry. Alright, just a small tidbit, okay? Because the little things that would make the whole picture, whether the game is fun or annoying. And Sumeru felt pretty annoying. Especially with the whole the underground dungeons, passages, the music notes, and the Aranara diaries. Okay, they did not even give us anything for the Aran diaries. You had to actually go and look up stuff online to figure it out. Because trying to figure it out on your own was next to impossible. I 100% did Sumeru, and I hated it. I don't know why I 100%ed it. Probably just to get the 100%. Sumeru sucked. It did. It 100% sucked. The story in Sumeru was fucking amazing. And I just cursed. I'm sorry about that. The story was amazing. Alright. The whole Samsara cycle, the dance of Sub-Zero's festival, and the epic fight with Scaramouche, and the ending, we actually got some information. A cutscene was very touching. They did a fantastic job with the music and the story. The gameplay was horrible. That's my take for Sumeru. They did not make the game fun to play. They made it enjoyable to watch. And then the desert. The story was nice. The whole Jet's main storyline. I watched the the weird festival, Hoyoverse? No. Why can't I remember it? Hoyo Fair, yes. I watched the Hoyo Fair like sometime after Sumeru came out. One of the content creators made a whole voice acted story of Jet's story quest. Highly recommend you watch it for anyone who hasn't done the quest or hasn't watched it. It's what I wished Hoyo first did, honestly. You know, finding that whole frozen area, even just whole storyline quest, was very heartwarming, very touching and emotional. It was an actual whole journey, but all of it was side content. None of it was voice acted, and they really should have. They can, but they won't. It just feels like they're not working on making the game fun to play. Like when Mostad and Yuri first came out, it's like the game was new, you know, they wanted players to come and enjoy the game. And they did. Now that they have players, feels like they're just not focusing on making it fun to play anymore. The second part of the desert, with the whole dragon and the mushrooms talking, which was I think Nahida's main quest or something, or maybe it was part of the main quest. I don't know, but I don't remember much of it. It was not enjoyable or interesting for me. It was let's just get it done and over with. It was, and they had a whole reason to dedicate to it. Kind of sucked. Same with the last part of the desert. There was nothing interesting going on. It was just all felt like side content, filler content. So after the Archon story for like what, half a year or maybe almost a year, was just non-stop filler content. Kinda sucked. And exploring those areas weren't fun either. I used that online tool just to help track all the chests and get the quest done. Cause I was not doing it because it was fun, I was doing it just for completion. And I needed the premium gems as well. And we got to Fontaine. Fontaine felt a lot like Mondstadt. It was fun. It was enjoyable, alright? There weren't annoying landscapes to traverse. There were some underground maps, but it wasn't too bad. And the diving mechanism, the whole underwater world, was kind of amazing. It looked beautiful, it looked fun, wonderful. It was fun to explore around. Though I do have like some issues with it. The whole Ushia and Numa mechanism, I don't think that was necessary. Like having characters be bound to a certain element. I feel like it would have been just better if they gave us like a gadget that just flips in between. You know, would have made the whole thing more enjoyable and fun process instead of, hey, you want to do this puzzle? You want to access this thing? Open up your team screen, which takes like 5 seconds. Swap your characters around. Hit this thing. Open up your team screen again. Put your main team back on. And repeat. It's just tedious. Like, that's not a fun game mechanic. Why would you ever put that in? And, you know, I mean, the answer to that is obviously because they wanted to sub characters. Furina can use both. You know, get more Fontaine characters. On that note, only Fontaine characters can dive out of the jump out of water, which is not anything, but it's frustrating. Okay, like I said, like earlier, you know, it's the little things that count. They added this feature, you know, just it looks cool to do and it's fun to do, but they made it limit to only Fontaine characters. Like, cool, hey, all these other characters you love and enjoy playing, cool, they can't do it. Get bluffed. Like, why? Why would you willingly do that? It feels like they're intensely limiting the game, making it less fun to play on purpose. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Because it feels like there's nothing I can do. You know, I mean, I can just stop playing, yeah. But I don't want to. I enjoyed the game. I want to play it and I want to have fun. But it sucks that they're adding mechanisms and content into this game to make the game less fun to play. Like they're actually putting a limiter on it. It's not that they're just not adding content. It's that they're adding content but taking away features from it on purpose. But I mean, in terms of story, Fontaine, it dragged on quite a bit. Like the whole prison section was not needed. Absolutely useless. Furina's whole storyline was amazing though. An amazing character. He actually had some progress and development for once. You know, just changed her whole personality. Well, I mean, she was acting her whole personality at the start. I mean, yeah, especially with Nouvellette as well. I love the character development with Furina and Nouvellette. And some of the side stories was also fun. You know, got to raise a whole tower out of the water. Or was it sink a whole tower? One of them. But again, side story was never voice acted. Felt less relevant. And you know, there was a lot going on in the side story in Fontaine. I remember going into like some weird, I don't even know what it was, but we got an epic sword of light out of it, out of a side content, which is kind of like a main weapon for the traveler. I really wish they would just put more voice acting in this game. It would make such a big improvement on this game and stop limiting so much fun. But again, with the rewards, like, you know, running around collecting chests, it didn't feel rewarding. It was just doing it for completion's sake. Because the rewards were the same as what we got in Mondstadt and Leeway from the start of the game. Nothing changed. It doesn't help make progress anymore. Because the main progress system now was just doing the ley lines, doing the talent dungeons, doing the weapon maturity dungeons, whatever. Tests don't give you progress. Quests don't give you progress. You just do it for the sake of doing them. And your main source of primo gems was like events. You don't do events to have fun, you do them to get primogems, so you can get characters. Because characters were now all of a sudden necessary. You needed new characters, because everything was designed around new characters. And I think that's where my biggest grip with this game comes from now. I didn't explore Natlan. I unlocked the area, and I went around a little bit. I don't even have all the teleports or even the map unlocked yet. And honestly, I'm not planning on it. Not unless they completely revamp the game, which I doubt they will do, because they're making plenty of profit with it already as is. There's no need to change the status quo. So, my review of this game, honestly, for a free-to-play game, this game offers a lot. Like an insane amount. And I don't regret playing this game. Like all the time I put into this, the money I spent, I don't regret it. Not one bit. It was enjoyable, it was fun, it was memorable. And thinking back on it, I still enjoy it. I enjoyed it. But you know, I logged into this game, and I log in now and then. I don't want to play it once I'm actually in the game, because it just feels unrewarding to play. I don't have the new characters. There's a lot of things that require the new characters. All the events are based on the new reason with the new characters who I don't know yet. And you know, if this was like a couple of years ago, and if someone asked me, hey, would I recommend the game? I'd be like, absolutely, 100% yes. This game's amazing. Just don't worry about like, hey, you know, all the events and stuff, or the content, or worry about catching up. Just play the game, enjoy it, play it at your own pace. Like, it's a single player game, you don't need to rush or anything. Just take your time, do whatever you want, because nothing you do is going to ruin your run. Alright? You can always get more materials. You can always get more items, more characters. You know, get to know the characters, get to know the world, enjoy the music, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the story. It's just a fun game to hang out and play with. Now, thinking on it, the new player experience is not going to be the experience that I had, not one bit. There's over 90 characters in this game, and the characters you get, honestly, are completely random. There's the featured 5 stars and the 4 stars on banners, and chances are the character you get, you're probably not going to be meeting for a long time. Like, if you get someone from Natlan, you're not getting there forever, at least for a couple months. Or even Inazuma, probably several weeks, if not more. Sumeru, Fontaine. Yeah, I mean, it's not the same anymore, because when I played, you know, the characters, I had already met them through the story or through an event. I knew the characters before I got them, or I got them and I got to know them immediately. Now it's like, who are these characters? What do I care? Are they meta or not? That's the only main reason. Will they help me progress? And it feels like you're gonna always be playing catch up. There's no one to catch up with. It's a single player game, but all the events, all the rewards you get are just from the new area, so you need to get to the new area. You know, when I played, I already had the areas unlocked, you know. Blue Monster Alleyway, most of the events were just based there. And, you know, I was already there. So, like, hey, I didn't need to play catch up, because I was already caught up. Now, like, hey, you get a new character, you need their materials to ascend them. You get a weapon, you need materials to level up the weapon. Same with talent books. You need to go to a whole new area to get the talent books. And you don't have access to those yet. You can't get them. You can't level these characters up. The game prevents you from using these characters or even knowing who they are. And it's just something that does not need to exist, honestly. But it does. Like, all these little cues force you to feel like you're missing out. And you can't get other characters without Primo Gems. And to get the Primo Gems, you need to be in the new area for the new events. Some of them even require you to just jump around the whole world map. Like, hey, as a new player, you don't have the whole world unlocked yet. You can't just jump around everywhere. You can't beat the whole content yet. And the game requires you to do it. And you can't just jump straight to the new content either, because, you know, Sumeru... What does Sumeru require? I don't know, but Fontaine requires the whole Ushef Numa thing. And I know Natlan has like nice soul stuff. I don't know anything about it. Sumeru basically you need Dendro stuff, so you had to use Kawe. Unless you get you get lucky and get like some other Dendro character. But yeah, I mean, the game's like forcing you to play how they want you to play. You don't have the freedom to just sit back and play how you wanna play. You cannot make your own story in this game anymore. And I think that's what's been bugging me about this game. It's not fun to play anymore. You don't play it to have fun. You play it to keep up. You have to keep up with the content in a single player game. Because if you fall behind, you're not getting back up there anymore. You need every single new thing. You don't have time to just enjoy the game. It's not rewarding to enjoy the game. It's not rewarding to explore. It's not rewarding to play. It's just, hey, here's the same events we've been doing for the past 4 years. They recycle a lot of stuff. You know? The rewards we've been getting have basically been the same. In some cases, they might even be less, honestly. Like, the game's evolving, it's growing, but the content we're getting is not. It's stagnant, it's the same, so it feels like it's less. So I mean, if someone asked me whether I recommend this game now or not, my answer is no. It's not a fun game to play anymore, you won't enjoy it. You're always going to feel like you're missing out, that you're not enough, that your characters aren't enough, that your gameplay is not enough, that your progress is not enough. You're always going to feel like you're missing out on things in the game. You can't just take your time and enjoy the game anymore. That's my take on it. That's why I don't enjoy the game. Like, I love this game and I enjoy every single moment I had with it. But I don't anymore. I don't regret playing this game. But I don't think I will be playing this game anymore. Now, how do I actually end this? Honestly, I'm not too sure. I guess that's it for my review of the game. You know? If you want to give it a try, you can, but I don't recommend it. It's not a fun game to play. It feels like a chore. It feels like a catch-up demon. Whatever that is. And honestly, there are a lot of similar games that are being planned on release if you enjoy the cosmic category. But I feel like they'll probably have similar issues. Gacha is not a fun game mechanic to play overall. Yeah, I say honestly, try out some of the other new games when they release, if you still like playing gachas. Not Genshin Impact. The game kinda already knows what it's doing, and it's not gonna wait around for you to catch up. It's not gonna wait around for you to enjoy the game. This is gonna be like, you get to where we are now, or you deal with it. They're not there to hold your hand, they're not there to let you have fun. They're just there to just keep giving you the same thing they've always done. With no improvements, no feedback, no voice. It's their game, not yours. And that's, I guess, what it truly feels like. It's not a game designed for you to enjoy. It's a game designed for them to do what they want with. And I definitely am dragging this out far too long, so I'm just gonna stop it here. Thank you all for watching my not so casual review of this not so casual game anymore, I suppose. And this will probably be the end of my Genshin journey as well. It's been a fun 4 years. Definitely has been. But it's time to close this chapter. Thank you, and bye-bye.